This is Senior Product Manager Derek Wood welcoming you to another Infrascale how-to video. In today's video, we're going to be going through how to create and manage shared file sets. To do so, let's get into our Management Console for our Infrascale Appliance and go to the Clients tab and to the Shared File Sets tab. Here we can see our existing file sets and the number of clients that are using them, any that are using volume shadow copy as a service, and then the starting directories that are being protected with that file set. A shared file set is a backup set. It's what you would want to protect on a particular machine. The reason you would use a shared file set is because you can have policies, like for VMware or Hyper-V, where any new VM that's added to your VMware or Hyper-V environment would automatically be added as a backup job. So that you would have to define which shared file set would be the default. So let's create a new shared file set. Select New, and we give it a name. Let's say VMware Basic. Select an operating system. And select OK. So now we have the name. If you change anything in the backup set, this just means that it's going to run a full backup after you make modifications before it'll start doing incrementals. So that's just a default option. Then you get into volume shadow copy service specifics. You can say, do not use the service, which would be what you would do if you were backing up Hyper-V VMs. For Hyper-V, we have our own writer. We don't use VSS. For other items, though, you might want to. So if you wanted to use system state or live BMR, then you could do that here. There's also your backup plugin controls here. So if you wanted to enable Exchange mailbox or database or SQL backups on your particular device, then you would do that here. And the enable override means it's going to override any configuration that's done on the agent on the local machine. So if you're installing any type of a plugin locally, it's going to take the settings that are identified in the management console over whatever is done there. For the most part, you're not going to run into this unless you're coming from more of a legacy appliance before things were managed all from the console. Then we have starting directories. So we select New. And this is going to open up, and this is going to look very familiar to some of you. It's basically an old INI file. So you could just create different structures here. You could do something common like, and so on. And if this was actually being edited from a client, you'd be able to browse the client we're doing that. Because we're just creating a file set by itself, you don't have this option. But if you were to go to the client screen, go to Edit, and then edit the file set directly from there, you'd actually be able to browse the client instead of having to know what path you wanted. So the option to stay in the file system or not to stay in the file system. You have some compression options, include subdirectories, which is going to be a very common thing to leave checked. Any type of signatures, if you want to use SHA-1 or MD5. So SHA-1 is going to be, your CGIS compliance. Guys are going to want to use that. And then we'd say OK. And then we've created another shared file set. To use this, we would either go to Edit and select one of the clients, or go to Summary, and then you right-click the client and select Edit. Then we go over to the backup area, and from this drop-down, we'd be able to select a new VMware Basic tab here, hit Apply, and then Apply. Again, it just saves the configuration change, and then to activate the configuration, you hit the big Activate Configuration button, and now we're good to go. So the next time this backup runs, it's going to run a full backup because we've modified the file set, and then it'll continue with the incremental schedule. And if we go back to the Shared File Sets tab, we can see that VMware Basic now has one client assigned to it. And that is how you use a shared file set. For more information, visit infrascale.com or check out our YouTube channel for more self-help videos.